is if I don't have a release date in mind, then I can take as long as I want to.
Have you ever had expressed other forms of art? Your mom is a painter, or
Yeah, my mom was a painter.
did you do that as well when you were younger, or maybe today?
I used to draw a lot, and I still consider it, but the funny thing is, I get frustrated so quickly. I mean, I put all my eggs in one basket at a really young age, and it was always just music, music, music. And in fact, it was such a strange thing when it became a job and not a hobby, because I realized I had nothing else. So when I wasn't touring or recording, I was escaping from the thing I loved the most in the world in order to keep my own sanity. So yeah, I mean, I've toyed with the idea of playing with other arts. I just don't feel like I really belong in that position as any sort of multimedia artist.
Was it frightening thought? You say you were escaping a little bit from what you love to do the most. At what time was this?
Probably after the first year of touring and after the first release of the, yeah.
How did you overcome that? Maybe to get a little bit more at ease again?
Oh, it took a while to figure out the proper way to do it. But these days, literally the best thing I can do is actually stay in the same place for a long period of time. I mean, my immediate impulse is to get out of town, but
is it escapism maybe then?
yeah, very much so. But the best thing, I mean, I recently bought a house in Brooklyn, and being there for more than 6 months was probably one of the most calming things I've done in my life.
How long have you not been then for such a period in one place?
Oh man, it's been 5 years of not stopping. 3 months here, 4 months there. Basically, every time I came off tour, I would have a new apartment to look for, and I lived in Paris and in Brooklyn, and it just was this constant shifting, and everything had to change, and everything had to move, and there was just no stability.
You mentioned insomnia. Is that something you still have, or is it now maybe because of this? Is it connected?
It comes and goes. Writing, recording, I'll sleep like a baby. The anxiety before a release will really tip it off, and sleeping becomes a difficult thing.
How's that now? Because you're just before the release?
Just before the release, not so good. But also, you know, I'm a little jet lagged, so.
Let's put it on that. Yeah, for you, the Riptide, can you maybe explain a little bit, is each album a new chapter for you, or do you try to improve what you have done on the album before? How did it start out? Were all songs written in recent years? Or?
Yeah, well, most of them except for one, which I can explain. But the Riptide for me was interesting, actually. For years I've been toying with all these influences, and all this time there's always been a very specific Beirut sound, and so this album was much more about digging deeper into that and not into something foreign or outside of myself. It's much more personal, I guess.
If you do some self-analysis, what is the Beirut sound that you could define or distill from what you've done now?
I couldn't explain it in words, but I could play it for you.
Yeah, of course you can. But is that something you try to analyze, or is it something that...
No, again, I'm still trying to keep it as intuitive as possible, but it feels comfortable. I don't know, whatever feels right.
Is it still, previous records you recorded in a home, is this also recorded for the more part in your home?
No, but it was written in a very isolated place. It was actually written outside of New York City, upstate New York, kind of in the middle of nowhere. So I wrote all the songs by myself in that way, but then I actually brought it to the band, and we recorded it for the most part live to tape. So all the songs with piano, bass, drums, and uke are all recorded in this 2-week period upstate, live, everyone playing at the same time.
What kind of place was that? Where you went?
It was in the Hudson River Valley in upstate New York, and just kind of an old-fashioned studio with a lot of very strange instruments. It was a home that had been converted into a studio, and it was kind of out in the woods, and it was nice.
Did you feel you had enough time and room and space to experiment there?
We had a lot of room, actually. That's been one of the nicest things about self-releasing, is if I don't have a release date in mind, then I can take as long as I want to truly feel out the way the album should go. And yeah.
How was for you the Riptide? Is there a specific reason for that title?
For that title? I guess so. I actually decided to name the album the Riptide when I was in Brazil, and my first day there, I got caught in a riptide, and a wave actually burst my eardrum. So it was quite a powerful force, and I remember afterwards thinking that it sounds a little cheesy when I say it out loud, but I guess in some weird way that my life has been constantly pulled in these different directions, and I'm just always fighting for control of it. So, like I said, it's kind of a personal album, so that might be where it came from. I don't want to say for certain, you know.
But is the Riptide then something you have learned to accept, or is it something you still fight?
Half and half. Half and half. You just have to realize when you're in it, and you have to be ready for it. You have to be kind of in a peaceful place, I guess.
But what is the aim? Would you like to control it, or would you like to go with the flow, or go with the rip?
Well, the aim is to accept it when it comes. But you can't be in one for your entire life. You can't live life constantly being pulled in directions that aren't your choices, that aren't your decisions. But you do have to accept it when it does come to you.